Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another world tour video. You're joining me here in my creative world number 1. This is the first world that I decided to funnel all of my efforts into directly after I'd fully completed my original pixel art world. You know what guys, there were actually a couple of worlds in between, but I was looking at those a little bit earlier on, and those are not fit for humans. Those worlds are real messes. No one's ever going to see those. I might be persuaded, they're kind of messy though. Without any further ado, let's get cracking, shall we? You know what, actually there are a couple of things before we start. So first thing, the reason that we're not seeing my current creative world right now this week is because, well, I just don't feel as though I've built enough stuff again this week. So you guys will probably be seeing it next week, but this week I just don't feel as though that there's enough stuff to show you. So why bother? Why not just take a nice lovely tour of one of these old worlds that's got loads of stuff in it? Oh, and because it is old, most of the stuff in this world, if you guys want to make it, tutorials do exist for most of the things that you'll see in this world. But bear in mind, if you do want to make this stuff and you do want to use the tutorials are kind of old, so they may not be, you know, up to modern standards, if you know what I'm saying. Use at your own risk. Without any further ado, let's get this cracking. So this is the first thing that I have to show you. This is a good old classic Mario mystery box. I decided to turn the 2D version of the box into a statue, and it worked perfectly. Really nice, really cool, really low effort as well, really easy to make. So if you guys want to make this, a tutorial exists for the channel. Just search Mario mystery box. Next thing, we just have a very simple, nice 2D version of Super Meat Boy, looking so happy despite the fact that he's incredibly injured, missing a tooth, black eye, bandage on the forehead. He's still smiling and is still giving the thumbs up. You guys can find a tutorial for him on the channel, just search Super Meat Boy. Here we have, oh my god, this is one of the biggest logos that I've ever done. This is the Mojang logo. If you guys have ever played Minecraft, you guys might recognize this. There's a tutorial for this on the channel, but I'm warning you, it takes a long time to make. This is actually a full-scale version that you'd see, you know, as you log into Minecraft, it comes up with all of the logos. I took that image, broke it down and made it into pixel art, and it's like a full-scale version. It takes a long time. Tutorial on the channel if you're feeling a little mental. Here we have a very nice Enderman statue, one of my favourite mob statues. One of the first ones that I made actually. I think the Enderman is probably one of the first mob statues that I decided to do a tutorial for. And there is a tutorial for him on the channel if you guys want to find a very popular tutorial. Here we have, and I'm sorry if I mess up YouTuber names, guys, I'm really sorry, but I've made almost 50 of them, I think. I think I've made about 50 YouTubers. Names are bound to escape me over time, but I think this guy's called Aviator Gaming. Pretty simple statue, really easy, one of the earliest statues that I made for YouTubers. I'm pretty sure there's a tutorial for him on the channel if you want to find him. Aviator Gaming, I think. Here we have one of my favourite statues, and still today one of my favourite skins, the Carnage skin from the Marvel Spider-Man skin pack. You guys can find a tutorial for him on the channel, and the reason that I like this guy, other than the fact, if you guys don't know, my favourite colour is red, but the tendrils and the black eye, I love the colour scheme, I love the fact that there's tendrils, and I just really love this statue. You know what, if I was going to improve it today, you see the pink of his mouth, like where you can actually see the inside of his mouth, that's what the pink is. I would set that one block backwards in relation to the outer portion of his head, so his teeth were really exposed, and I bet that would look really cool. Tutorial for him on the channel, just search Carnage. Here we have a YouTuber statue, and I'm really sorry guys, I cannot remember this guy's name. There is no tutorial for this guy. I just made this skin because I thought it was really cool. I really love this skin. I'd love to know this guy's name. I think he's actually a really big YouTuber. I just don't know his name. He's really cool skin. He's got the skull on the back. He's got the headphones. I really love the color scheme. Just wish I knew his name. No tutorial exists of him. I might have to research it. He's probably not that hard to find. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he's quite popular. Here we have a nice 2D version of Mario in his cart. This guy is basically just a copy of like the old 8-bit version of Mario from Mario Kart. Really easy to make. Tutorial for him on the channel if you guys want to make him. Just search Mario Kart. Here we have a small version of the YouTube logo. Really simple. I love making logos. You guys seem to love logos. We both love them. It's a symbiotic relationship. So You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel, really easy to make, really colourful. I kind of wish it was in the air, I don't know why. It doesn't seem right that it's on the ground. I wish I would have placed it like 6 blocks in the air, but hey, that's how the cookie crumbles. Tutorial for that on the channel. Here we have a nice 3D version of the Pokeball. It looks really cool looking at it like head on or back on, but as you look at it from like diagonals, it kind of starts looking a little weird, but really cool statue. Not so difficult to make either, kind of easy. So you guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel. I have made quite a few Pokeball related builds, so I guess if you search the channel for Pokeball statue, you guys would probably find this quite easily. Here we have the Android logo. I can't exactly remember why I decided to build this thing. Actually, I can. Over there, when we go over in that direction, you guys will see a big giant Apple logo. So I decided, hey, if I'm going to make the Apple logo, why not make the Android? Why not? Tutorial for this guy on the channel, just search Android logo. Moving on to the next row. Here we have a character out of Adventure Time, and again, I'm sorry guys, I'm really bad with names. Names are just the worst for me. I can't remember the names of anything. I know that it's the female, like the main female character out of Adventure Time. I can't remember her name, but there's no tutorial for her on the channel. I just made her for the fun of it. Here we have a nice small pixel art version of an Xbox 360. Really love this thing. You guys are actually going to see quite a few console and game related builds as we move around this world. I really love making that stuff. I've just about run out of stuff to make actually in relation to this. I've made quite a few consoles and controllers and stuff. I've kind of run out of stuff, but if you guys want to make this, it's really cool. Just search the channel for like Xbox 360 tutorial or something like that. Here we just have a minion with a bazooka. I decided to pay homage to Despicable Me, and I decided to make a minion with a bazooka. Pretty cute. You guys can find this on the channel if you're so interested. Just search, minion tutorial. I'm sure you guys can find him. Here we have a BMO statue, an actual statue of BMO. I was really proud of myself when I managed to make this thing. I was very happy with myself. Full scale, big 3D version of BMO. You guys can find him on the channel. I think he actually takes quite a long time to make if you guys have the time. And again, the tutorial's probably quite old, so I don't know how good it is, but you guys can find him on the channel if you so wish. I thought this was really cool when I first made it. Here we just have the classic Notch skin. He looks like he's been shipwrecked, but I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be the point. He's a survivalist and all, so why are there mobs in my world? Hang on, guys. Mobs aren't turned on. Huh. Oh, well, I'm not upset. I don't mind sharing the world with my sheep. As long as they don't eat the wool, I'm completely fine. So this is just the classic Notch statue, the old survivalist skin, or at least that's how I think of it. You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel if you want it. Quite iconic, the Notch skin. Here we have Herobrine, or Herobrine, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. I actually made this guy not so long ago. I finally did a tutorial for him, but as you guys can see, I made him a long time ago in this world. I don't know how far back this world goes, but there's been quite a few in between it. So you guys can find a tutorial for Herobrine on the channel. It's actually quite a recent tutorial. The myth, the legend, Herobrine. Here we have another one of my favourite skins. You know what, guys? To this day, Spider-Man is probably one of my favourite skins. Want to know how I can prove that? Where is it? What am I wearing? Look at Spider-Man. There he is. I know there's an easy way to do this. Why am I being such a moron? That's what I'm looking for. There we go. I'm Spider-Man. Look at Carnage in the background. He's not happy. He's looking very menacing. I just realised they're both facing each other. That's probably really uncomfortable for them. But still today, one of my favourite statues, one of my favourite skins, Spider-Man. Still use it regularly. You guys can find a tutorial of him on the channel if you want to make him. And this concludes this row. This is just a half row, it would seem. So we'll go all the way to the end of this next row, and then we'll go, like, over to the left rather than just scanning to the right. So this is just a 2D version of BMO, and apparently the floor is either on fire or he's really happy because he's jumping about 50 feet into the air. There's no tutorial for this guy actually. I just decided to make a 2D version, and then I decided to have the much better idea of making the 3D version. No tutorial for BMO. Very simple, very 2D. Very 2D what we're talking about. So here we have a nice big version of the troll face. You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it. Quite nicely detailed, not too difficult to make if I remember correctly as well. You guys can make this and find this on the channel if you want to without too much trouble. Just search the channel for troll face. Here we have an incomplete version of another YouTuber's statue. Again, I don't know what the name of this guy is. There's no tutorial for this thing, and as you guys can see, I didn't make it very well. I kind of just like gave up. I was trying to make it look right, and I just failed for some reason. I don't know why I couldn't make the statue, but I didn't. You guys might know who it is. It's either a YouTuber or it's Tony the Tiger. I don't know which one it is, but no tutorial for him, and he's not complete anyway. Here we just have a nice 2D version of a minion, really simple. I was going to make a tutorial for this guy as easy as he may be, but I decided to go with the bazooka version instead. No tutorial for him. It's cute though, really easy to make. Here we have a nice 2D pixel art version of Stan from South Park. You guys can find a tutorial for him on the channel if you wish. I actually have quite a few South Park characters on there. Here we have, and I hope that I don't screw up this name. Is his name Jehovah's Witness? Or is it Jehovah Witness? I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not in tune with other YouTubers, I apologize. But I have done the statue, I have done the tutorial. If you guys want to find him on the channel, I'm sure you won't have too many problems. I quite like the statue, actually. He's not a favourite, but I do quite like him. I think his name's Jehovah Witness or something like that. Search the channel for Jehovah, I'm sure that you can find him. Here we have a 2D version of Guile, just like Stan, in the exact same style. I'm sure that you guys, or we, I should say, you're coming with me, I'm sorry. Get in the car. We'll be seeing quite a few more South Park characters in this world, I believe. You guys can find a tutorial for him on the channel if you want to make him. Here we have, as I said, I really do love making game stuff. I made a big giant version of an Xbox controller just in its 2D form. Do you guys want to see how I managed to make this thing? It won't take too long to show you. Bam! Look at that. I took a screenshot of this and then I made it into just a nice pixel art version of it. Really cool, really colourful. Love that thing. Tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it. Just search the channel for, Xbox controller tutorial, something like that. Here we have, and I don't want to screw this up. I think I know this YouTuber's name. Is it Amy Lee? Like Amy Lee 33 or something? Again, if I don't get it right, I'm sorry guys, but you guys can find a tutorial for her on the channel if you want to make it. I think it's Amy Lee, but names, me and names, it's a common occurrence. I just don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm sure that some of you guys know who she is. Tutorial for her on the channel. Here we have one of the first actual item statues that I decided to make. I decided to make a cactus. I was very proud of myself, especially because I decided to put sand all the way around the base. I thought that was being really clever. A tutorial for that on the channel if you guys want to make it. One of the first ones that I ever made. Look at it. It's cool. It's still nice. I still love that statue. Here we have Agent Coulson from Marvel, from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Avengers, multiple Marvel movies. I'm pretty sure he's all over the place. You guys can find a tutorial for him on the channel. He's actually ripped straight out of the Marvel Avengers skin pack, I believe it's called. Tutorial for him on the channel if you want to make him. Very cool looking statue. Here we have a nice little 8-bit version of Bane. I have a love for these things, guys. I don't know what it is. I love these little 8-bit chibi versions of stuff. I think it's called a chibi. I don't know. Don't quote me on anything. Don't quote me on anything. He's wearing his luchador mask. He's the old version. He's not like the version out of the modern day Batman. Was it The Dark Knight Rises, is it? Or The Dark Knight Returns? I can't remember what the last Batman film was, but it's not that. He's the luchador version. Very cool. Tutorial on the channel if you want to make him. Just search Bane. Here we have yet another console. This is an original PS1, the first console that I ever owned. There's not actually a tutorial for this on the channel. I should probably make one, and I might improve it a little bit because we've actually got a few more shades of grey to play about with. So I might improve this and I might make a tutorial for this thing because I love making stuff like this. No tutorial for this as of yet. Here we have 4 shades of Flappy Bird. if I can get them all in shot. There's quite a few of them. 4 Shades of Flappy Bird. I don't know why, but the tutorial that I made for Flappy Bird just went absolutely mental. I think it's got over 500,000 views or something insane like that. I think it's the first tutorial that I made. Like, I took quite a lengthy break. I took like a month or so off of YouTube, and I came back, and the first tutorial that I made, it absolutely blew up. 4 Shades of Flappy Bird. I can actually see it's really nice, really colourful, and you know, it's been ages since I've played it. I still have it on my phone. I should probably play it and get frustrated. I get so mad at that game. Tutorial on the channel if you want to make Flappy Bird. Here we have, and this is another case of trying to get everybody in the shot. There we go. Here we have the 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles going from left to right. We have Raphael, Leonardo, Donatello, and Michelangelo. These are actually only the 2D versions of them, but I do have statue tutorials for every single one of them. Well, not every single one. I have a tutorial. If you search the channel for, you know, TMNT Ninja Turtle statue or something like that, it will come up. The only difference between all 4 of them is just the colours of the cloth, so they're really easy to just interchange between each other, but you can make 4 of these statues if you want, or just one. Tutorials on the channel, really love these things, and in a world somewhere, I actually have 4 statue versions of these guys just all next to each other, really cool. Love the turtles, always have. Here we have an alternate skin for Sky Does Minecraft. I think this is the beachwear version of him. You guys didn't really seem to like this statue, as I remember, a long time ago, but if you guys want to make him, search the channel for, you know, something along the lines of like Sky Does Minecraft tutorial, and he'll come up. I've done quite a few versions of Sky in the past. Here we have iBallistic Squid in his alternate skin color. In the actual tutorial that I made for this guy, I actually gave you 2 versions. I gave you a dark blue and cyan version, and I gave you this version right here, which is cyan and light blue. And I'll let you guys choose which one you wanted to make. I actually built both side by side. I don't like this version as much as the other version. I prefer the dark blue and cyan, but hey, that's just me. Tutorial for him on the channel if you want to make him iBallistic Squid. I'm sure you know who he is. Here we have another very popular statue. We have Emmett from the Lego Movie. I made this guy pretty much as soon as I got out of the cinema watching the film. I actually watched the film. Look at the Craggle. I actually watched the film. I decided to come home and make him. I was fully inspired, and he makes a really cool looking statue. Really like this thing. I decided to put the Craggle, I believe it's called the Craggle on the back again, I'm sorry guys, these names. Put the Craggle on the back, really cool looking statue. Tutorial on the channel if you want to make him. Here we have, guys, I know a YouTuber uses this skin, and I know that, I think there's some way affiliated with Stampy, but I just don't know the name of the YouTuber. I know this is like the Banjo skin from Banjo and Kazooie. First game that I ever actually played. I didn't own the console, I didn't own an N64, but first game that I ever played was Banjo and Kazooie, so I decided to make this statue, and it so turned out that a YouTuber also used the skin, so really cool. You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it. I don't know what it will be under though. Here we have, I believe, a KYR Speedy statue. You guys, a little controversy over this skin. Mainly because there's probably a little too much skin with this statue. But hey, you know, this is a skin that the guy uses. This is a skin that Speedy uses. I just made it. Don't blame me. A little nude. A little bit nude for Minecraft. Yeah. You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it. It won't take too long for you to make at all. Very, very simple statue, as you might imagine. Not too much going on. With the next row here, we have a Nintendo DS. Like I said, I'm big on making gaming stuff. I don't know why. You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel. Just search Nintendo DS tutorial. Really cool. Right here, this isn't what you'd actually see on the channel, guys. On the actual tutorial, for what you guys can see in front of you, I actually put something on the screen. I put like an 8-bit version of Ash and Pikachu on the screen. This looks really cool once it's done properly. If you guys search the channel for Game Boy Advance, you guys can make this, and it makes a really, really cool looking pixel art once there's actually something on the screen. It brings everything together. This is a Game Boy SP. Never had one of these. I always stuck with the good old Advance because this one's actually significantly smaller, and I don't know, it was always too small in my hands. I didn't like it. I preferred the big chunky version. If you guys want to make this, just search the channel for Game Boy SP tutorial. I'm sure it will come up. I love these things. Really cool. Here we're moving on to my Avenger statues. Here we have Nick Fury, tutorial of him on the channel. Here we have Black Widow. Not my favourite one of these statues, but as I look at it, I do like it. I do actually like this thing. I didn't like it originally, but as I take a second look, I love this thing. It's really cool. I like what I did with the arms. Pretty cool looking statue. Tutorial for on the channel. There's a tutorial for every single one of the Avengers. I probably don't have to say it. Here we have Iron Man. He's really cool. Really detailed Iron Man. This guy takes quite a long time to make, as you guys can see. Really nice statue. Here we have Thor. For some reason, you guys don't seem to be a massive fan of Thor, but I am. The God of Thunder will always reign on for me. Really cool statue, or at least I think so. I really love the cloak. I don't know, really love the statue. You guys didn't seem to be too massively into him, but hey, I like him and that's all that matters. Tutorial of him as well. Like I said, this tutorial is for all of the Avengers. Here we have a nice statue of the Hulk. Not my favourite because you only have two choices of green to choose from. Now we have more. Now we actually have like green versions of stained clay. So I could have made a better tutorial or a better statue for the Hulk. But unfortunately, you know, at the time I just didn't have access to the colours, so still a nice statue. I still like him, but he's probably one of the weak ones, just because we don't have the colours, that's all. Here we have Captain America. Whilst he's not one of my favourite Avengers, the statue is really nice, and the main reason for it is this. The shield on the back, I really love it. Really cool design. Love the Captain America statue. And like I said, I've said it quite a few times, but you will find tutorials for every single one of the Avenger affiliated statues on the channel. You don't have to search too hard for those. Here we have, I think, a Bat Clone statue. I've never made a tutorial for this guy, but I'm pretty sure that's his name, Bat Clone. Makes a nice statue, never got around to it. I don't know why, guys. I have no clue why. Here we just kind of, I kind of made a Doge statue. You know, the yellow dog, the meme, I kind of made him. Kind of a really terrible version of him, to be honest with you. I didn't put too much time in it. I kind of got disgusted halfway through making him, so, yeah, no tutorial for this guy. I just made him as soon, you know, when that was starting to gain some traction, I decided to make him. Kind of cracks me up as I look at him in my head, but, never made a tutorial of him. Here we have a few versions of the Pokeball. We have the Pokeball, the Great Ball, the Ultra Ball, and the Master Ball. I actually have tutorials for every single one of these on the channel if you want to make them. I only made them kind of recently, I guess, within the last 3 months, so the tutorials came long after the actual balls themselves. Tutorials for every single one of those on the channel. You won't find, you won't have too much trouble finding them. Yeah, no cuts. You won't have too much trouble finding them. They are all bunched together, is what I was trying to say in People Talk. Here we have a statue of Sly Foxhound. I kind of like this statue. This was, one of the first statues that kind of like had a HUD that I made. We also have Seto Sorcerer, but I actually made him after Sly Foxhound. This was one of the first statues that I kind of had a HUD, so I was kind of happy when I first made him. I thought that it was really cool, but I guess I've made much more complicated statues after this guy. Sly Foxhound, I'm pretty sure you guys can find a tutorial of him on the channel if you want to make him. Moving on to the next row, there's a lot of stuff in this world, guys. How long have I been talking? It's been a long time. Been a long time. I don't think we're even halfway yet. Here we have a statue for Seto Sorcerer. Really cool statue. You guys can find a tutorial of him on the channel. I think her name is Ihaz Cupquake. It's raining. I'm probably... I need to cut out for the rain, guys. I hate the rain. But we'll just finish talking her in. This is, I believe, Ihaz Cupquake, and ironically, she's wearing rainbow socks, despite the fact that it's throwing it down and it's all dark and dingy. You guys can find a tutorial for her on the channel. I really like this statue, as simple as it may be. I think it's just the colours and the fact that there's flowers in the hair and stuff. I think this is one of the first YouTubers I kind of made. I think that she's in like one of the first, I don't know, the first 15 that I've made. I've made a lot of them. A lot of them. Let me cut out for a moment, guys. Let me get rid of this rain because it really is irritating. And we'll continue with the tour. I think that we've got quite a few more rows to view. Yeah, it's going to take us a while. And we're back. I really do hate the rain, guys. It ruins everything. It makes everything so dark, dank, and miserable. I mean, I love having the daylight cycle switch, but it really does come at a steep cost. And I've just realised, whilst going on that rant, I have transitioned into the stereotypical English person talking about the weather. Virtual weather, no less. Let's continue before I embarrass myself. So, we had just finished looking at the iHas Cupquake statue. Very nice statue, very lovely, very colourful. Tutorial for her on the channel if you want to make her. Let's move this way. Let's move up the row. So, the next thing, we have an Eye of Ender pixel art. It kind of looks like a statue, but it's not. So, as you guys might be able to tell what I've done here, I made a 2D version of the Eye of Ender here, and I kind of like buffed out the middle parts, leaving the outline kind of like slinked back, and I did the exact same thing with the back of the pixel art as well, and I don't know, I kind of like the look of it. It just makes it look a little bit 3D without actually being 3D. The idea is, you know, if you drop an item on the floor in Minecraft, how it kind of like it spins around in a circle and it's 2D, but it kind of gives you the illusion that it is 3D? Exact same thing with the pixel art, kind of cool. Eye of Ender tutorial on the channel if you want to make it. Here we have one of my very first loves. I think this is one of the very, very first YouTuber statues that I ever made, and possibly one of the first statues that I did ever make. This is a Trumu statue, and I absolutely adore this thing. I still love it to today. Look at the detail. I don't know why it is. I just love it. Maybe it's because it's one of my first. You always love you know, your first experience with something, but after I'd first made this, and I kind of had trouble doing it because the head's a little funky to make, I was so happy after I made this statue. You guys can find a tutorial of him on the channel if you want to make him. I love this thing. Really, really early statue for me. Ah, fantastic. Here we have a boomerang bird from Angry Birds, tutorial for that on the channel if you want to make it. I'm pretty sure if you search boomerang bird you will find it. Are you joking? Guys, this is unbelievable. The rain has came back almost immediately. This is unacceptable. How do I solve this problem? Give me a second. Well, apparently, guys, the Minecraft gods have a very sick sense of humour, so what I've done, we're now playing with the daylight cycle, and hopefully that will stop the rain. We're just going to have to sleep every so often. We have quite a bit left. We won't have to sleep too much, though, maybe once or twice. So, continuing on, we got to the boomerang bird from Angry Birds. If you guys want to make this tutorial on the channel, you won't have too much trouble. I've made just about every single Angry Bird, at least from the classic game. Here we have... I think I just titled it Yellow Angry Bird. Again, you guys will be able to find it on the channel easy enough. I'd actually be able to make an improved version of this today because we actually have the use of yellow stained clay nowadays. Completely ignore the phone. That's not important. Tutorial for that on the channel, Yellow Angry Bird. Here we have White Angry Bird, I think that it's called. Again, I don't know whether these guys have, you know, any further names. Like, I don't know if this guy's called Reginald, for example, but you'll find them on the channel titled under this. White Angry Bird, cool design, tutorial on the channel, you won't have any trouble finding it. I was never a massive fan of Angry Birds. I didn't have the patience for it. You kind of had to be really, you know, tactical and what have you. That's not me. I'm kind of like just rush in and get things done as quick as possible. It was not a game for me. Here we have a Bayesian Canadian, cool looking statue. I really like the fact that you've kind of like got the hood sat at the back of the base of the head here. Really cool. You guys can find a tutorial of him on the channel if you want to make him. It's a cool statue. Again, another one of the kind of like lumped into the first statues that I ever made. Still like him to this day. I really do love these statues. I'm getting a little bit nostalgic. It's been a long time since I've actually entered this world. And this is the first row that I started with. So, you know, this is like the early stuff of the world. Here we just have like a crying, sad face. I can't remember why I made this guy, but I thought I was being clever again with the whole water and the tears thing. No tutorial for this guy. Here we have kind of... At a certain point, it would seem that I went a little crazy with the 3D effect on the 2D pixel art, but this is just like a 3D, air quotes, 3D Pokeball that I decided to make. Very simple, very easy. You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it. I've done a lot of Pokeball stuff. Here we have an 8-bit version of Batman that's not a chibi. It's not like Bane, he's a little bit more complicated. You guys can find a tutorial for him on the channel if you like, and you guys might even be able to see the Batman statue in the background. Very menacing looking, both of them together. Tutorial for him on the channel, just search 8-bit Batman. Here we have Skrillex Cat, very much based on the Nyan Cat. I didn't design this or make this. Well, I did make it, obviously. Look at him. But I didn't design this guy. I found him on Google Images. I had to make him just because, well, it made me chuckle. Skrillex. I don't know if that guy's actually done anything recently. I've not heard of Skrillex in quite a while. But Skrillex Cat, coming to you sometime soon. Tutorial film on the channel if you want to make him seriously. Skrillex Cat. Here we have, I think this is the first mob statue that I ever made, and probably one of the worst tutorials that I ever made. This is a mushroom statue. I should probably redo this, because the tutorial for this is really, really bad, as I remember. You know what, I think I will redo it, and I'll put some mushrooms on his back. You guys can find a tutorial for this guy on the channel, but I would not follow it. Really bad. I think I will redo it, actually, since I am doing the mobs. Here we have an Angry Pig, I believe he's called. Yeah, Angry Pig, I think. Tutorial for this guy on the channel if you want to make him. I think he's Angry Pig. Long time ago, guys, long time ago. Here we just have a fishing rod. Never made a tutorial for this, just made it for the funsies. Or did I do a tutorial for this? I can't remember whether I did a tutorial for this, guys. I'm sorry. I really can't remember. Here we have a torch statue, the inferior version of the redstone torch. The redstone torch statue that I did not so long ago is really, really cool. This one I wouldn't say is as cool, but you guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it really, really simple. I do like it. I don't know why I'm insulting it. I do like the thing. Not as much as my redstone torch statue, though. That thing's really cool. Here we have, I'll show you both of these together. I uploaded both of them together. Here we have on the left, you know, kind of a more recent version of the Fire Flower. On the right, a kind of an old version of the Fire Flower. From Mario, of course. If you like to shoot fireballs from your hands and kind of turn a different colour, these are for you. Tutorials for these on the channel if you want to make them. I love game stuff, like I said, especially stuff out of games. I think if you do just search the channel for like Fire Flower 1 and maybe Fire Flower 2, you'll come up with both of these. Very old now. Next row. Here we have a PewDiePie skin. I'm not sure he actually has like an official Minecraft skin, or at least he didn't at the time that I was making this, so this was kind of like a fan-made thing. This is a PewDiePie statue if you guys want to make him tutorial on the channel. Here we have Captain Sparkles, a very cool looking statue. I still like this thing. I love some of the older statues more than the newer ones, to be honest with you. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's nostalgia. Like I said, as I come through this world, you get these feelings. It's like looking into the past. It's like looking through a photo album, except it's 3D. Really cool. Tutorial film on the channel if you want to make him Captain Sparkles. Here we just have a version of Green Arrow, or Arrow he might be titled under the channel. Really cool looking statue, really love the hood, really like the menacing face. Tutorial film on the channel if you want to make him, just search like Green Arrow or Arrow, I'm sure he'll come up. Here we have, I think this is classed under Miniature House. I think this is just like, if you were to search the house, or the house tutorial playlist is probably the best place to find this. It's probably in the first 10 houses that I ever made. Search the channel for Miniature House, or just search the playlist. Cool looking house, very easy design, very simple, very interesting. It's kind of a cool take on a house. I still like it. I think it's cool to see how these houses have evolved actually. Tutorial for that on the channel if you want to make it. Here we're coming up to the Justice League statues. All of these are made and designed by me, 100%. They're not ripped out of any sort of skin pack. Here we have the Flash. Ah, look at these statues, there's barely any detail. Here we have The Flash. You guys can find a tutorial film on the channel. You can find tutorials for all of the Justice League members. Tutorial film on the channel. Cool looking statue. Now that we have more versions, yeah, we have more versions of red and orange and yellows and stuff. I could make a better version of him, but, you know, why rewind... No cuts. Absolutely no cuts. I even failed saying no cuts. Why redo history? Let's stop trying to say the word right. Flash tutorial on the channel. If you want to make him, just search the channel for Flash statue. Same with Batman. Cool statue. Did I do anything cool with the cloak? Let's have a look here. I didn't do anything cool with the cloak. I can't believe it. I wish I would have made that 3D. That would have been a really cool improvement. If you guys just search the channel for Batman statue, you guys will find this. Really like this statue. Sounds really egotistical considering I'm the one that made it, but you know, whatever. I still like it. Really do like it. If I would have just done something with the cloak, that would have been really cool. Here we have a Wonder Woman statue, which was really difficult for me to make at the time. That head and face is just so difficult to make, and honestly the chest was kind of hard to make as well. Everything about this statue was really difficult for me to make. You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel. I think I did pretty well, despite the fact that you're trying to make something, a character that's like really curvy and female out of just blocks, and it's just so difficult. Here we have, and I know it's getting dark, guys, but it has to get a little bit dark for us to sleep. Here we have Green Lantern. Cool looking statue. I still absolutely love Green Lantern, despite the fact that they keep butchering the films. Well, I mean, I think they've only done one film, but it was so bad that it felt like two films whilst I was watching it. It felt like I was watching two films back to back. I really do like the statue, really cool. Tutorial film on the channel if you want to make him. I'm spending a lot of time looking at my own statues. How sad is that? We can just about sleep now, actually. We can sleep. Let's sleep and let's take a look at Superman. Let's take a quick look-see. And the final statue that we have, I made them in order. I made them from left to right. Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Batman, Flash, then Green Arrow over there. Here we have Superman. Again, cool looking statue. Captured his likeness. Really difficult to make the S on his chest. That was probably the hardest part of the statue. And as you guys can see, it's not really an S, is it? Yeah, I had a lot of difficulty making the whole insignia. But as we take a look at the back. I still didn't decide to. I really wish I would have extended out the cloak. That might have improved the statue just a little bit. But Superman statue, you can find tutorials for every single one of those on the channel if you want to make them. Here we have just another house. I don't know what this thing would be entitled under if you guys want to make it. Just search the house tutorials playlist if this house tickles your fancy. Pretty cool looking house. Pretty cubey. I mean, it's kind of like a Cube Plus house. I like the look of the house, really interesting, especially considering the fact that it's a really simple shape, but I don't know. I don't know about the colour scheme. I'm not a massive fan of just using regular oak anymore. I really do like the birch. If the whole thing was in birch, I think it would look cool. Tutorial for that on the channel, I'm sure, if you search the house tutorial playlist. Here we just have a mushroom egg, same thing as all of the other item pixel arts. They're all extended out a little bit. You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make this thing. I think you just search for like mushroom egg, something like that. Here we have a Minion statue. Tutorial for this guy on the channel. Really cool looking. Really like this guy. One of the first movie statues I think I decided to make, actually. Something out of a movie. I think this was the first one. I think I started with the Minion and it snowballed from there. Tutorial film on the channel if you want to make him. Moving on to some more YouTubers here. We have, is Kermit Does Minecraft? Kermit Plays Minecraft? I can't remember which one, but that's who this guy is. I'm sure you guys all know. Kermit something. Kermit the Frog. I cannot do an impression. I apologise for that greatly. Tutorial for this guy on the channel if you want to make him. I believe this guy is called Husky Mudkips. I really like that suit. Look at the suit. That suit is wonderful. And the bow tie as well. Mudkip. So beautiful. I'm sure that you guys can find him on the channel if you just search like Husky Mudkip, something like that. Another YouTuber. Tutorial on the channel if you want to make him. Here we have I used to use this skin all the time before Spider-Man came along. This was before Spider-Man. I used to first roll with Tuxedo Steve, and then I moved on to the Mushroom skin, which is this right here. Really cool. I love this thing. The nostalgia, guys, the nostalgia. If you guys want to make this statue, there's a tutorial for this on the statue. Just search like Mushroom statue or Mushroom skin statue, something like that. Here we have Seth Bling is the guy's name, I think. As I'm looking at this, oh my god, look at those dungarees. Oh, those dungarees look terrible. The reason that I made this guy originally was because he kind of like doubled as a Mario statue. And I kind of liked that, so I decided to make him, despite the fact that I'd never heard of him. I'm sure he probably still makes videos. I think this guy's called Seth Bling. Not one of my favourite statues, I will say that. I don't like the use of the wood and the colour scheme. I think this is one of the first statues that I've actually said that, you know, I wouldn't make this one again. If you want to make him, though, tutorial on the channel, I'm pretty sure it's Seth Bling. Here we have the Krusty Krab, the legend. So old now. Such an old... I've actually made this like 3 or 4 times. I think this is the one that I actually made for the tutorial. I'm pretty sure it's made right in this world, right here, like, I'm pretty sure. The times. If you guys want to make the Krusty Krab, it was as close as I could get at the time. If you guys want to make it from SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs' old business venture, you guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel. Just search Krusty Krab. I'm sure that if you guys are watching this video, you're familiar with it. Here we have one of my very first brick houses, the Brick Mansion, I believe I entitled this. As I look at this, it's a... Oh wow, I think I've came a long way in house building, guys. I mean, I like it, kinda. The base elements are there, but I think I've came a long way in house building. I think I started off not too bad, but I think I've definitely improved as I look at this. I think if you guys for some reason want to make this house, I'm pretty sure it's entitled under Brick Mansion, or it's probably one of the very first videos in my house tutorial playlist. Here we have a Stampy statue. I'm sure that I don't have to tell you guys who this is. Wasn't entirely sure on the colour scheme. I actually made 2 versions of this. I made one version of this that was like kind of orange, and I made this version here which was like, you know, completely yellow. You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it. Here we have a panda statue. Got to love panda. Who doesn't like pandas? Is there somebody out there that doesn't like the fluffy, adorable, big cuddly panda? The lovable bear? Is there anybody out there that hates them? Tutorial for this guy on the channel if you want to make him. He's actually ripped straight out of the Battle of the Beasts skin pack. As is the Orca here. You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it. Just search Orca statue. Cool statue. Very different shape than I was used to making back when I made him. Here we have a tiger statue. I'm not entirely sure whether I actually made a tutorial for this guy, but if I have, you can find him under tiger statue on the channel. I went through a phase where I was building animal statues. Don't ask me questions. Here we have a dolphin statue. I'm not sure whether I made a tutorial for him. I think I kind of did, actually. I think I did make a tutorial for the dolphin. I think I did it just because, I mean, look, it's kind of like, it's just a really cool looking design. I love the way that it was shaped, and it was kind of like one of the first skins that I saw that didn't follow like the base design. Like it wasn't like a regular skin statue, so I think I made both the dolphin and the orca. Here we have a fox statue. I think that this came out right around when, like, What Does the Fox Say came out, the music video, and it kind of came together perfectly. Plus, I kind of like foxes. I kind of have a thing for foxes, so I'm pretty sure you guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it. Here we have... guys, I do not know this guy's... Is it like TNT? I don't know his name, I'm sorry, but I know this is a YouTuber skin. If you guys want to find this, if you guys know his name, you'll have a much easier time, but I just don't know his name. Tutorial for this guy on the channel, though, if you want to find him. I know he's a YouTuber. Just a miniature version of the Superman logo. Sometimes I just make stuff for the fun of it. Made this for the fun of it. No real reason, no tutorial for this at all. Just made it because. Here we have the big giant Apple logo. This is what I was talking about when we was all the way over there in that corner of this world. We have the Android logo. This is the Apple logo that goes hand in hand. Tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it. I actually did quite a few different colours of it as well that I showed at the end of the video. I did like 3 or 4 or 5 different colours of it. Really cool. I don't know. Still like it. Really simple. I think I have a thing for logos. What can I say? I think that's why I like it, because I like logos. Here we have... Is his name Slammer Cow? Or Smasher Cow? Something Cow, I'm sure. Very simple skin statue. He's a YouTuber. You can find a tutorial for this guy on the channel if you so want to make him. Very simple. Got a little bit of charm to him, hasn't he? I think it's the eyes. Might be the eyes. Here we just have like an 8-bit version of Santa. Never made a tutorial for this guy, just made him for the fun of it. Sometimes I just make stuff for the fun of it. Here we have a nice big giant version of a Game Boy Color. Ah, my first handheld console. Absolutely wonderful. Got Pikachu on the screen. I actually made this in 2 different colours. I have purple here, but the one that I made on the channel, I made it lime green because that's what I had, you know, back when I was a kid. First ever console, or handheld console I should say, was just a lime green version of this. Many hours sunk into Pokemon. You guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it really, really cool. Here we just have a couple of, you know, like I said, I just kind of build stuff sometimes. Here we have a really simple version of the Nintendo logo on the left. On the right here we just have a cupcake. What can I say? I just make stuff for the fun of it, no tutorials for those. Moving on to the next row, I don't think we have too many rows left, guys. The sun's going down, but I'm sure that we can knock out a couple of more things. Here we have a piranha plant from Mario. Very simple, just made it because there's no tutorial for this thing in existence, and I want the daylight so that I can show you these 3 all together next. If the daylight would only go down faster, it would really help. I wonder how long I've been talking for now, guys. I think that my last Creative World tour, my Creative World 2 tour, I think that was 40-45 minutes. I think that this one's going to supersede it. I feel as though there's more stuff in this world, though, in all fairness. Maybe I've just been talking a little too much. I'm sorry if I've been talking too much, guys. It's kind of my default position. Feels weird if I'm kind of just like staring at the screen with the microphone on and I'm not saying anything. I don't know, it doesn't feel right. I feel as though there's dead air. I don't like that. You don't want anything dead, trust me. Let's take a look at all 3 of these guys. All next to each other. So, I decided to make this as kind of like a... display piece sounds kind of stupid when you say it, but like these like 3 things were supposed to be like all showed together. We've got Mario on the left, Luigi on the right, and of course we've just got the Mario crate with the coin popping out of it on the top. I just thought this was really cool. Of course there's a tutorial for the Mario box that you saw earlier, but there's no tutorial for Mario and Luigi themselves. I just wanted to make this again. Sometimes I just make stuff. Same story with Link here. This is actually ripped straight out of... what's the game? I can't remember exactly, but you know how like a lot of the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, like all of that stuff was already like in 8-bit form, so you can just like kind of just copy easy and just make it in Minecraft without any trouble. You don't really have to alter it. This is what this is. He's ripped out of one of the games, I don't know, for the Game Boy Advance, and I just made him. Again, no tutorial for this guy, just made him because... Here we have another YouTuber. I do not know this guy's name, I'm really sorry guys. I think he's kind of a big YouTuber, but I really can't remember too much about him. Really cool statue though, very detailed. I just never made a tutorial for this guy. I think it's because of the massive amount of detail that went into him, and honestly, I think I was just being a little lazy. I wish I'd made him now though, because he does look really cool, looking very regal. Here we have Chimney Swift, cool looking statue, kinda creepy with the face. I don't like that face of Chimney Swift, but he's kind of cool though. He's got a diamond sword on his back if I remember correctly. I'm sure that you guys know Chimney Swift. Tutorial on the channel if you guys want to make him. Here we have Ant Venom, kind of going from two different spectrums from that guy over there to Ant Venom in terms of detail, but you guys can find a tutorial of him on the channel. Of course I made this guy, look how easy he is to make. Oh god, I wish I wasn't so lazy. Really upsetting. Tutorial of him on the channel if you want to make him, you won't have too much trouble finding him, just search Ant Venom. Here we have the monster logo, which you can find no problem on the channel. I actually made quite a few different versions of this. I made a green, blue, pink version of this. I think I even made a yellow. I made loads of different colours of this, really cool. It'd be cool to have them all next to each other. Tutorial for this on the channel if you want to make it. Again with the logos. Here we have a pretty cool looking statue. I mean, he's not very detailed, you know, in terms of some of the stuff that I make now. Some of the stuff's a little crazy, but you know, I thought this was really cool back when I was making him. The diamond minecart. Dan, I believe his name is. I can't remember exactly, but tutorial for this guy on the channel if you want to see him. Cool statue. I think it's the goggles. I'm a massive fan of the goggles. Look at those. Ah, I need some goggles. Here we have two stupid little piece of pixel art. This is a controller from a SNES, I believe. Kind of in a terrible colour. It should probably be made in light grey. Never made a tutorial for this. Again, sometimes I just make stuff for the fun of it. Same thing with the British flag. A lot of you guys, and I think you still do, you wanted me to make like pixel arts of flags. And this was kind of just an experiment. This is, of course, a very small version of a flag. Let me just turn the daylight cycle off because I don't want to sleep again. We're coming near the end. Very small version of the British flag. Obviously, the Union Jack, I'd start with that, my own flag. But I never got into making flags, and this is just a really small version. I was then planning to upscale it, but I never got into making flags for whatever reason. I didn't want any fun with flags. Big Bang Theory. Here we have... And I think that I made this somewhere in the past 4 months. This is just a trainer tutorial. Not a trainer tutorial, this is a trainer pixel art ripped straight from the game. Again, you know, since a lot of the older games are in 8-bit, I just ripped him straight from, I think it was like a loading screen. Made him, here you go, boom. If you guys want to make him tutorial on the channel, I think he's under like Pokemon Trainer. Here we have an unfinished version of the COD Ghosts logo. I could never perfect this thing. I could never make it look right. You know, the COD Ghosts logo, it's kind of like the skull and the black background. Could never make it look right, so I never made it. I spent a lot of time on this and I was just getting nowhere. Would have been a very easy tutorial though, but you know, no tutorial for this, never made it look right. Here we are very quickly approaching the end. We're coming to some of the bigger stuff. Here we have the PS3 controller, maybe even the PS4 controller is different. We have the PS3 controller. I decided to make this to go hand in hand with my other Xbox controller. Very cool. If you guys want to make this, again, place it next to the Xbox 360 controller. They look great together. Search the channel for PS3 controller tutorial. You guys will find it, no problem. Love this thing. Here, and the final thing in this row, I believe, is just a big giant version of Brian. I've made a few versions of him. I actually made a smiling version of this guy. In the original version, he was looking kind of depressed, but I figured I wanted to make him look happier, so I kind of made him look happy. But you guys can find a tutorial for this on the channel. If you want to make him, just search, you know, Brian tutorial, Family Guy, something like that. I'm sure you'll have no trouble. And that comes to the end of what you'll actually find any sort of tutorial for in this world. I do have a few big giant versions of pixel art though here, and they're kind of hard to see. Here we have a giant version of Space Invaders. If you guys have if you guys have ever played like the old, really old now, I mean, it was even old for me back when I was growing up, you know, the arcade version of Space Invaders, here you go. Really cool. I decided to make a scale version of this. Imagine how long this took me, guys. Imagine how long this took me. It was unbelievable. Really cool, though. I actually made this for one of my World Tour specials, or pixel art specials, or subscriber specials, some form of special. Moving on, I've got two more of these. I now have something to do with Angry Birds. It's really hard to get them in shot. Let's see. Here we have just kind of like an 8-bit gang of Angry Birds, and just like the Angry Birds logo just above them. I actually found this on Google Images, and I decided to just kind of like copy it and drag it into Minecraft. It was like an actual pixel art somebody had done, and I liked it so much that I wanted to do it for myself. And I showed you guys all 3 of these, I think, and I think it was like for my 50,000 subscriber special, maybe, or 250. I can't remember. I'm sure quite a few of you guys may have seen these before, but here you go. Really cool. No tutorial for any of these, obviously, they're way too big. And coming up on the final large piece of pixel art, my favourite. Oh god, I love this so much. Let me show you this in all of its glory. Here we have the loading screen from Pokemon Yellow, my first ever Pokemon game, the Pokemon Yellow loading screen. This thing is absolutely fantastic. Guys, this took so long to make, so unbelievably long, but it was so worth it. This thing is absolutely fantastic. I loved it. I kind of hated making it, but I love seeing the end result. This is really, really cool. And in showing you that kind of, well, that kind of ends this tour. That's it, guys. There's nothing else to show you in this world. This is a really long one, isn't it? I think this is over 50 minutes, but we saw a lot of stuff, haven't we? I don't know whether I'll drop this into 2 parts or not. Nah, why not? Well, let's keep it in 1 part. Thanks for watching, guys, and next week, if not definitely the week after, not the world after, I'll be showing you guys my brand new current creative world. So thanks for watching, guys. I know it's been a really long video, but I hope you guys have liked it. We saw a lot of stuff. See you in the next video, guys. Thanks for joining me.